Okay,
And
Piper's going to go on a rant here. We got to...
Sorry. No, keep going.
Back to kids.
So she's putting on her goggles and a bowler hat. She checks her pocket watch, adjusts her rocket and back. She laces up her boots and puts her makeup on. She grabs her leather coat and her Tesla gun. But she used to be a goth kid, now she's a sneak.
Hello there. I'm Gail Carriger.
And I'm Piper J. Drake,
And you're listening to 20-Minute Delay.
a podcast about travel.
Because travel never goes how you expect.
Neither does recording. Okay, today we'll be talking about packing kits.
Oh my
kit
gosh.
Containers.
Oh, some of my favorite things in the universe. But first, where have you been this week, Piper?
rather than talk about where I've been, let's talk about how much the two of us travel, just to kind of set a baseline. Does that sound good?
That sounds like a great idea. That's really cool. Because the first thing that everybody should know, of course, is that you travel way more than I travel, and I thought I traveled a lot. So
It is a little bit crazy pants. It
yeah.
is.
So talk to me about how much you travel. Do you travel like 80% of your time is spent traveling? What does that mean? Is that like the first part of most weeks, or how does it work for you?
Okay, so let's talk about two different kinds of travel. The first and the most frequent is my day job travel. And my day job, according to my actual job description, like I signed on for this craziness. It was part of my job offer. It's in the contract that I'm going to be traveling approximately 85% of my time.
Wow.
85%, like it needs to sink in for people how much that is.
Wow. That's a ton.
So when people say, oh, where do you live or where are you from? And you get that blank look on my face, it's because I don't know.
You live in transit, Piper. So
basically.
What does that normally mean? 3 out of every 5 business days? Or is it more like 2 weeks at a time and then you have a week off? Or how does it usually work out? Or is there no consistency to it?
The consistency comes in depending on what project I'm currently working on for my day job, right? And some projects can last 6 weeks of insanity travel, and some projects can be a year and a half of fairly consistent, easy travel. So recently, I've been on a bigger project, so I've been traveling approximately every other week. I leave on a Monday, and I come back home on a Thursday night, probably close to midnight.
Okay.
So I'm gone about 4 days. Other times I have had the oops of being scheduled on 2 projects at the same time, but both of them are only 6 weeks long. So for 6 weeks, I'd leave on a Sunday, fly to the East Coast, fly on Wednesday, over to the West Coast, literally ocean to ocean.
Oh, wow.
Literally like New Jersey-ish to San Diego-ish, and be on client side for Thursday, Friday, before flying home Friday night to wherever I was living at the time, whatever time zone I was at the time. So
that's your day job travel.
Yes.
And then, but you also travel for pleasure.
Well, either pleasure or for writerly things. And writing I take very seriously. For career stuff, my writing career I take very seriously. So conventions and conferences, to spend time with my readers, for book signings, and also to network with other industry professionals, I take every bit as seriously. So a lot of times I'll go straight from my day job to whatever this writerly career event is, whether it's a conference or a convention. I'm very well known for my costuming at a lot of these events, so corsets are involved. It would be very unfortunate if I mixed up my day job outfits with my steampunk wear.
And how often a year would you say you did something like that? Let's say for your weekend convention kind of events. Once a month?
You figure I don't do that as much as that. I think at maximum I've done 6 events a year.
Okay.
And at minimum this year was probably the least number of events that I did, because I did 1 conference and 2 writing retreats that were more like workshops, like 200 people. I was an instructor kind of workshops.
Cool. All right. So that leads us into me, and I do what Piper's just talked about more frequently. So I don't have a day job. I'm a full-time professional writer, but what that means is I tend to do about what I would say one event a month. And that event can be something like a costumed steampunk event or science fiction and fantasy kind of convention, or it can be a bigger book fair, or occasionally I will do like week or 2 week long writing retreats or something longer along those lines. And then I usually, although I don't like them, and if they happen while we're recording this podcast, you guys will hear me complain about them, I will also have to do a book tour. And a book tour is something on the order of 10 cities in 10 days. And it is real brutal.
It's crazy pants.
It's crazy pants.
That's crazy pants.
It's literally just flying, landing, checking into hotel, getting dressed, going to the event, hopefully eating something, going back to the hotel, sleeping, flying again. So those are pretty awful and brutal. So,
and they don't take into account travel whammies, do they? Like,
No.
what happens if your flight is delayed? Does that
No.
mean your signing is in danger?
Yes. Yeah. In fact, there was an infamous incident where I was supposed to do a signing at Comic-Con in San Diego, and my flight was delayed out of Denver because Denver is my Hellmouth airport, which we have discussed or will discuss. And so I was
Different
delayed.
Different episode.
So Denver's my Hellmouth, and so of course I got delayed, and so I was late. And I didn't even know this was possible, but I managed to get into Comic-Con and do a signing in about 20 minutes, and then I was back out of Comic-Con. So I like to say I went to Comic-Con that year, but I think I was there for maybe 25 or 30 minutes because I was so late and people were just already lined up. So I just did the signing, and then I had another event across town. So I had to skedaddle.
And that's not easy.
No.
When you do the events that are like a conference, not necessarily a book signing and not necessarily a writing retreat, but a conference or convention, like maybe a steampunk event, does that span over a weekend? What does your travel look like that way?
I try, actually, if at all possible, to have them fly me in on Thursdays. I prefer to travel on Thursday to Friday for reasons that we could probably both go into. It's pretty horrible if you're a frequent flyer to fly on a Friday because you then are often flying with people who aren't frequent flyers.
Sundays too.
Yeah, it's a little bit like the trade-off if you're a regular commuter in terms of driving, where if you're commuting, at least everyone else is commuting, but then again, everyone else is commuting. But on the weekends, when people who don't normally drive are out driving, kind of worse things can go wrong. And I feel like that's often the case on a Friday travel. So what I do is I ask them to fly me in Thursday. And so I get a full day of work in home, and then I fly out Thursday late afternoon or evening. And then I have all day Friday to acclimatize to wherever I am. And I don't bother to try and get over jet lag if it's just for a weekend, especially not as I'm West Coast and I'm almost always going east, which just means I can stay up late hanging out at the bar and talking to people.
Exactly.
It's great to be a West Coaster.
Advantage. Yeah.
But yeah, so I tend to just fly on Thursday and come back on Monday, just to because I can, and because I am a writer, I can get my writing done in the hotel room. I just take my stuff with me and do some writing on the road. So it's not always possible. The conventions aren't always willing to put me up for an additional night, but if at all possible, I do ask for it. And they often have blocks set aside anyway, and the convention organizers are usually doing the day before and the day after, so they don't mind having me there as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I try to show up the day before as well. And sometimes I'll just go down and volunteer.
Yeah, it's
stuffing
fun.
bags and stuff the day before just to hang out with the volunteer staff who don't get to go to the regular events. Like they don't get to go to the book signing. They don't get to go to the panel. So I'll go stuff bags with them, like the goodie bags, so that they have a chance to hang out with me too.
And also, if you can and they have one, a dead dog party on Sunday is great. Because a lot of conventions will do what's called a dead dog party, which is basically all the people who worked the convention who didn't really have a chance to enjoy it are hanging out late Sunday evening when everyone else has gone. And if you're a guest and you go down and talk to them and hang out, they love it because that's why they volunteer in the first place, usually, is to get to meet, authors and actors and people in the industry. So, I've never had a bad time going to a dead dog. It's always real fun.
Yeah. Okay, so now our main topic.
Oh, yes, our main topic. All right. What are we talking about today? Oh, we are talking about kits.
Packing kits.
Oh my gosh. Yep. I'm so excited.
We do kits, my friends.
Oh my gosh. I think you'll probably find that it is a rare frequent flyer who doesn't have a kit. And so what Piper and I are talking about when we talk about kits is you basically have segmented, little packed, kind of like most of mine are about the size of a large sandwich bag, basically, but they're usually fancier than that with a zipper top and everything. And in it are all of the things that you need for, I think of it as the zone of the hotel. So I have a sleep kit, which is basically everything I need for sleeping that goes that goes on the bedside table on the side of the bed that I sleep on, and that's that kit. And then I'm obsessed with tea, so I have a tea making kit, and that always goes either next to the coffee maker or into the bathroom, which has the higher electrical gauge plug so that I can actually heat the water up with, So things like that. And then I also I travel with a tote rather than a backpack, but that tote is also full of kits, and those kits are the things that I need on the flight. So if I have an overnight flight, then I have a red-eye kit. And so when we are talking about our gadgets and our favorite things that we need to have with us, or snacks or whatever, these are all coming out of kits that we have with us. So
So I have different kits, and I think that it really is very subjective or personal to how you find you travel or how you find you need things. So for example, I have a Piper emergency kit, and part of that is because I suffer a few medical challenges. So it's always good to have a very distinctive kit so that if I'm actually having an asthma attack or if I'm actually suffering a different medical emergency, anything a person needs to care for me or information they need to provide to a medical professional is in that kit, and it is TSA bag, so that there's never any reason why anyone would ever make me take it out of my backpack. And it's very clear-sided so they can see everything in it. My inhaler is very prominent. I also have a couple of first aid things and medications in that little kit, as well as a couple of MacGyver things, like, a pair of scissors that are TSA approved, medical tape, Band-Aids.
This is hilarious because I have a similar kit, but it's dedicated to my vintage dresses because
That's a repair kit for costumes.
I know, but I think of it as like a medical kit for my dresses. It has a needle and thread, and I have clear nail polish in case I get a run in my nylons.
Yes. Well, with my steampunk care kit, I even have a pair of pliers.
Of course.
Because you don't know how often I've had to fix the link to a particular thing or piece of hardware on my steampunk outfits, and it has actually won people free of the bust on a 2 or 3 times.
Wow.
Dear friends, learn how to wear your corsets. Like, don't just get a corset and be delighted, but learn how to wear it. Or please do not take it amiss if I quietly come up to you and ask you to accompany me to the bathroom because your corset's upside down. That has happened at 3 separate events.
Okay, and Piper's going to go on a rant here. We got to...
Sorry. No, keep going.
Back to kits. So
other kits.
I just want to make something clear, which is that these kits permanently live in a kit state. So it's not like we take out, like I have obviously a 2-in-1 bag or a toiletry bag, which has all of the correct fluid amount approved of all of the toiletries that I like to have with me. And those are refilled from my shampoo or whatever, but they're never taken out. They live in that bag except when I need to clean or refill. And
exactly.
All of these kits live as kits, and most people who aren't frequent flyers don't have this kind of thing because they don't need to, be able to grab. Although I will say that sleep kit, because sleep for me is the most important thing when I travel. It just,
Mm-hmm.
I grab it like if there were a fire at my house, I would grab
That's what you would grab to head
my
out the
sleep
door.
kit and the cat and maybe my partner.
You figure he's capable of getting out on his own. Yeah. But no, like same thing with my kits. They all stay in that state no matter what, from trip to trip to trip to trip. They never get unpacked.
How do you
And
handle
I
a
also
refill?
so I do that in between trips, like once a month.
Do you have it scheduled in, or because what I'll do is I'll take a slip of hotel note paper and I'll slot it into the bag and it says what I used up and needs to be refilled, and then I can just
Oh
check.
no, I do an automatic
You do
check
a big,
of my
okay.
toiletry. Like I do an automated check, but as part of my packing routine, and I have a makeup kit and I do an automatic pack of that. And sometimes I do repack that depending on season and where I'm going, because makeup really is going to depend on the type of event you're going to, the type of lighting you're going to be in. I'm going to wear different makeup in Hawaii than I
Yes,
am
of
going to be
course.
wearing makeup in Princeton, New Jersey. So I do switch out one or two items. Like there's things that are in my makeup kit that just stay there always, base, foundation, primer, mascara, blah, blah, blah. Right. But the eye palettes, I am such a sucker for new eye palettes, and I swap those out depending on where I'm going and what kind of colors I'm feeling. But everything else stays static. Right. So I have my emergency kit. I have a lip gloss kit because I'm one of those people who has a tendency to chew on my lip when I think.
That's
And so I
bad.
have an actual lip gloss kit so that I always have at least 2 tubes of lip gloss with me at any time, that stays in my backpack. So I can always find it no matter like what time of night and how dark it is in the airplane or the train. And then I also have, like you, a tea kit because the tea
Yes.
is never good enough and I will
No.
not go for Lipton
Nope.
ever.
Bigelow and
Nope.
Lipton's are verboten. But
Yep.
well, there goes our sponsors.
It's like, whoops,
So
sorry.
one of the things I do, and I got really excited because I mentioned this to Piper, and she does the same thing, which is for the kits that are going to go into my carry-on bag, whatever's going to go under the seat in front of me, I choose the bags themselves, the kit bags, by texture. So
Yes.
yes. So for example, the bag that houses all of my electrical stuff, my charging cables and my plugs if I'm traveling international, that bag is made of neoprene. And it's partly to protect what's inside it, but also because I can reach into the bag that's under the seat back and without looking, feel around and feel out exactly which kit I need whenever I need it. So,
Exactly.
the sleep kit is like a sort of silky, soft material, and and this is a super great tip. I can't stress it enough. There are tons of different bags out there. They're like the little mesh bags. That's what all of my snacks are in. They're always in the meshy bags. And then there are, of course, plastic zip top bags. And we'll give a shout outs to some of our favorites in the gadget section. But getting different texture bags for the different kits and the different items for what's on the plane with you means that you don't have to like pick up your bag and open it up on your lap and go scrabbling through it for what you need. You can just reach right in there and pick out what you need just by touch. So
I agree.
Hot tip. I can't believe how
A
long
lot
it
of
took me to
people
figure
color
that out.
code.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people color code, but color doesn't help you if it's dark in the cabin. And also, I don't know how many people are like me, but my bag is very compact, but it becomes a bag of holding. Like you can't imagine how much stuff is in there, and it's like a popple pouch. Do you remember the popples? Like you reach in there and it's a whole nother pocket universe.
Yeah.
So just finding it by texture is really a much more effective use of my time. Otherwise, I'm going to be yanking that bag out and like searching elbows, head, shoulders in my bag.
Yeah.
Trying to find the thing.
Yeah, it's important. And I think anything more vital to add on the subject of kits, I would highly recommend zipper top bags. I think that's pretty much the only way to go. I've never had any luck with snaps or anything like that. They always seem to lose some small item or snap open or something. So I am pretty exclusive to the zipper.
I'm also exclusive to the kind of bag that you can turn out and wash.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
definitely turn outable and wash. Some of them even come machine washable, so you can turn them inside out and just toss them into the washing machine with
Yeah.
like your jeans.
Yeah.
Just because you will always have something that explodes.
Yep.
Like that's Murphy's Law.
Always.
So washable.
Yeah.
Washable is always a good way to go.
Yep. Great. All right. So now we're going to move on to our gadget recommendation. Dun, dun, dun.
Yay, gadgets!
Yay, gadgets.
Okay, I'll go first this time. Gadgets.
Gadgets.
So I have a thing for a lot of Asian culture items. So my recommendation from Gadgets is actually a line of bags from mochithings.com.
Oh.
And Mochi Things has super cute, like the colors are cute, but the organization is also cute. And they have a whole bunch of different perfect kit bags. They're different size. They can be packing cubes. They can be, my particular fun one that they have now is the perfect little cylinder to carry your backup foundational garments to toss into your backpack or your tote while you're traveling. And it's round so that you can actually fit a bra in there. Perhaps it is yet to be tested, this gadget, as to whether it's going to fit my
I was gonna say.
tough size. I'm rather generously endowed, so that will be the test that comes. Is I'm going to be ordering this cylinder, and we're going to see if it fits that, because I have been caught publicly on Twitter saying that even for a 12-day trip to Europe, generally I just bring enough underwear and socks to fill the cups of my bra, and that's enough for 12 days, because I'm generously endowed.
I used to be, ladies and gentlemen. So I feel Pepper's
that was my
fate.
choice. Yes,
but
I think you were more generously endowed than I am. Currently, back then,
it was rough. But I actually used my bras to pack my hats. But I think that's a whole other story, because I'll take like little hats,
like packing.
I kind of make a hat box out of my underwire bras.
That's brilliant, actually. Okay, so that will be a different episode, I think. But so that's my gadget from Mochi and Things, is the undergarment bags and also kit bags that they have. But in particular, I'm going to be testing out the one that's a cylinder meant to contain a bra. We'll see if it can contain mine.
Well, I'm going to go the other end of the spectrum and recommend a real cheap option, which is kind of I would call these your starter bags. If you're just getting into the idea of kit, I use the Travel-On. They're called zipper envelopes. And they come in about, 6 or 7 different colors. They're basically clear, but they have a kind of color mesh pattern and a colored zipper. And they're super cheap. They're maybe $10 at most, and you get a whole range of sizes. And so it's kind of a low impact investment, and you can test out and see what sizes you find you're using a lot. Like, I find myself gravitating to what essentially is kind of the size and shape of a small pen or pencil case. I don't know why I like that so much, but that's a shape that I go to a lot. So, but the Travel-On will sort of get you started, and you can figure out what you're gravitating towards and what's working for you. It also comes with...
The pencil cases are good Tetris sizes.
Yeah. It also comes with a really big one, which is, I think it's like slightly bigger than A4, so it's big enough to take European or American sheets of paper. And that's what I put. I travel with a printed itinerary as well as an itinerary on my phone, because I'm paranoid about either losing my phone or my phone dying on me. So I will have this printed itinerary.
Power issues.
Yeah. So I love that it's this big zippered envelope that I can kind of put all of my paperwork in and everything. So I think the Travel-On starter, the zipper envelopes, are a great way to start. So those are our gadgets.
Yes.
Yay! We have a little time, I think, Piper. So do you want to mention you're trying out that bra cylinder? Are you experimenting with any other gadgets at the moment?
Oh gosh, when it comes to kits, I have been also experimenting with these little silicone toiletry bottles
Ooh.
that I have never tried before because, I was going with the cheap ones that you can get at like any drugstore that are plastic and they come in the dollar area.
Yes.
But they always leak. I
Yes.
always end up with an explosion of some sort of product, whether that's soap or lotion or something. No matter what, it's invariably the most expensive thing that I have,
Of course.
of course, or either expensive or perfumed. And I try to stay away from heavily scented items, so it's most often just a waste of money. So I'm trying these silicone ones that have a seal. So they're silicone, and you pop them into the top cap, and like they're double sealed. So far, to Europe and back, to San Francisco and back, and to Philadelphia and back, they have not leaked, but I have not filled them to full capacity either. I gave them some room so that there wasn't explosion. Like I didn't
You weren't
fill them
forcing the
totally to
issue
capacity.
with pressure.
Yeah.
Are they slightly heavier than plastic because they're silicone?
I think they are slightly heavier, but at the same time, they're so handy because not only are they less leak prone, as far as I've been able to tell, but they have these cute little suction cups. So they look like little owls when they're looking at you, and you can actually stick them to the wall of the shower.
Oh, that's wonderful. And are they different colors,
Yes.
or are they all the same color and you have to kind of remember which
You
one
can
you put
buy
in?
a couple of different ones.
Okay.
You can buy them in colors, and you can also buy them in different sizes. So they don't just have the standard shampoo bottle size of 3.5 ounces, but they also have like your 1 ounce or your 1.5 ounce
that's great.
sizes. And the other thing I like about them is the cap themselves have little labels that you can rotate.
Oh, nice.
To mark them as shampoo, conditioner, lotion, soap.
That's wonderful, because labeling the travel bottles is always an issue because
I never do it.
It just eventually comes off in the shower, and I'm stuck being like,
it
was
just
this
goes
facial
off.
cleanser or was this, body lotion?
Yeah, you have to open up and put a little dab on your finger and be like, what was this?
What's going on? That's cool. Well,
Yeah.
I am experimenting with, and you'll know how to pronounce this better than me, Zojirushi?
Zojirushi?
Zojirushi? They are a Japanese...
Zojirushi.
Zojirushi? They're a
Maybe?
Japanese thermos company, basically. They also make a rice cooker and a couple of other things. And I have had one of their thermoses for years, this tall, skinny, graceful, beautiful thing that I love. I mean, it really keeps the hot stuff hot and the cold stuff cold. But it isn't great for boiling tea with my water boil coil because it is so tall and skinny that it doesn't...
It doesn't get the circulation going.
Exactly. The hot water doesn't get down there. So I've just recently invested in their, it's called their food storage, and it's basically kind of the shape of a mug instead of it's wider and lower. So I'm really looking forward to trying that out on my next trip.
So it's more of like a soup canister.
Yeah, I think it's designed initially as that, but they call it their food storage. But it's the same, vacuum seal and the same, lining.
Oh, I used to have that back when I was like that kind of thing back when I was a kid. And that was always interesting because all the other kids would look at me weird because they had their sandwiches. And here I was with this container and I'd open it up and have like curry in there or soup in there. And they're like, how do you bring that to lunch? And I'm like, it's watertight.
Yeah, it's great. I'm super excited to try it. And then the last, I guess, gadget I kind of wanted to mention while we're talking about kits is the Loli Ziploc bag, because I make use of those a lot. The sandwich size, the slightly bigger ones. Sometimes I'll use the super big ones for compression if I'm going somewhere and it's going to be raining or something. I want to keep my shoes dry or clothing or something. Make sure it stays dry. And then I love a little tiny snack bag too, because I find myself using those to dispose of garbage in flight and things like that. So that is the lowest barrier to entry in the whole kit thing, which is just go for a zipper.
I actually bring extras with me on long trips.
Yeah.
I do. I have them in like the top lid of my suitcase, just because I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to use it, especially if you're going someplace like Seattle that rains a lot.
Yeah.
There's this lonely picture on in my travel that I posted to social media that freaked out like half the friends that I have because It was this lonely carry-on that had fallen off the baggage cart in the middle of the tarmac, like under a downpour. So you know everything in that bag
soaked.
came out wet.
Yeah. I actually devise, if I'm traveling and I know it's going to be super rainy and I'm traveling with my carry-on is soft-sided. My checked bag is hard, but my carry-on's soft. I will travel with a garbage bag that's the right size that I make into a little poncho for my carry-on. So when I'm dragging it through the street, it doesn't go wet. So yeah, the lowly plastic bag. Although I will say, if you were going to use it for your TSA code compliant fluid bag, which is actually what TSA recommends, is just to use
use a quart-sized Ziploc bag. Yeah.
Do use 2 because
like we said, those up, baby.
Yeah, do use 2 of them. All right, I think that's it for today's episode.
Yep.
All right.
I think so too. So thanks to producer Matt for putting together this podcast.
And thanks to John Anelio, who loaned the music from his song Steampunk Girl.
This has been Piper J. Drake.
And this has been Gail Carriger. Happy travels.
Bye-bye.
So she's putting on the goggles and a bowler hat. She checks her pocket watch just to rock it back. She laces up her boots and puts some makeup on. She grabs her leather coat and a Tesla gun. 'Cause she used to be a goth kid, but now she's a steampunk. She used to be a goth kid, but now she's a steampunk. She used to be a goth kid, but now she's a steampunk.